All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Gabe, Gaiton Day. What up, cousin?
What's up, Bundy? And we are here today to check out and to talk about, I should say, our full spoiler review for KGF Chapter 2. That's right, Rocky is back, baby. Rocky Bai is here and ready to lay waste on anyone that gets in his way.
Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring Land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
All
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
Like I said, this is full spoiler review. If you want to know just our thoughts, if you haven't seen it yet, go check out our quick reaction that we posted not too long ago. Gabe, what did you think of KGF Chapter 2?
You know, I got mixed feelings going into this film, right?
Ooh.
So here's the thing. There were some things I loved about this film. There's some things I didn't like about the film. One of the things, and I'm going to get it out the way right away. The first film, and even the first film, I remember, like, it took me a minute to understand that we were going back and forth, right? And that we were dealing with different time periods. Well, in this one, the same thing happened, but I just feel like the editing, the way it kept going back. You try to fit so much story in to this, you know, it's a relatively, what was it, like maybe 3 hours, you know what I mean? So for an Indian film,
Almost,
it wasn't that long. And you try to fill in so much in such a little bit of time, so much story. This could have easily been KGF chapter 1/2, you know what I mean? Or 2/3. Like, it needed some more time to breathe, some of the characters. Like, for instance, I really liked the new character they introduced, Adhira, right? Sanjay.
Sanjay.
But they gave us Sanjay did a great job, right, as the antagonist. But they gave us like 2 seconds, cousin, introducing him. He was a brother of whoever, and he would not let any harm come to KGF, and that's it. Like, bro, you got to let that character breathe. You got to give him some more backstory, and I felt like that was force-fed, cousin. You know what I mean? With that being said, I liked the film, and they were going for something that you and I had a discussion walking out the theater, right? Where some people might be like, "Oh, that's way too much." What's the word, Nick? It's way too far fetched or way too unbelievable. First of all, it's a movie; it's not supposed to be grounded in reality. But second of all, if you don't think that gangsters running the country or gangsters running, being that powerful are real, all I got to tell you is check out the story of who I think they borrow a little bit of inspiration for this character, Pablo Escobar, who did have politicians in his his pocket, cousin. And one of my favorite lines of this entire film from Yash, he meets this American businessman. Funny enough, it was Jimmy Carter. I was like, is that supposed to be President Jimmy Carter? Because
he had like a British accent or something like that. It was not good.
Jimmy Carter. I'm like, is that supposed to be Jimmy Carter, the president? Because it took place like during the 70s or whatever, right? At that point. So he goes, I'm a CEO of whatever company, he says, and Yash looks at one of his henchmen and goes, CEO? And he goes, it means he's the boss. He's the boss of bosses. So he's like, oh, okay, I'm CEO too. Yash tells him, I'm CEO too. He says, really? Of what company? India. That was hard, cousin. You know what I mean? That was my favorite line.
That was a killer line. That was a great line,
bro. So from that perspective, like, bro, Pablo Escobar was the CEO of Colombia, cousin. He ran it. You know what I'm saying? The politicians feared him. He was more powerful than the president at one point. You know what I'm saying? But I think they brought a little bit of inspiration there. So to me, I understood that. And just having come off vacation in Mexico, I remember we landed in Puerto Vallarta, and we got an alert on our phone. We was like, what? Airport under attack? What? By the cartel? No, okay, it was Cancun Airport. Luckily, we were in Puerto Vallarta. But if y'all don't think gangsters is still real and got power, you may want to watch something else other than CNN or BBC, cousin, because it gets ugly out there. Nick, share some of your thoughts.
Yeah, this movie is quite interesting. Like I said in the reaction, I absolutely loved it. I'm a huge fan of this movie, but it's very interesting. I want to see if I can try to explain the way I'm thinking about this. Okay, so many elements of and I completely agree with what you said about the Sanjay Dutt character. Absolutely. He was fantastic. He was epic. He had Excalibur. He only wielded it for a few seconds. We can get a lot of backstory on him. Maybe they mentioned him in the first one. We did, whatever. But the thing about this movie is, and it's not, I'm not going to say guilty pleasure. It's not a guilty pleasure. It's not even close to that. But it's a movie that I like so much, but there was a lot of flaws in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a movie that I just sat back. We had our popcorn. We were like rocking out. And people always ask about our theater experience. We probably had the most people in this theater than any other movie besides maybe Boggy 3. But there was only about like 25 people in there, really. But this movie I liked a whole lot. But there were some parts that like they skipped over, like they just rushed different things. They had him rise and fall so quickly. And it was the moments that they slowed down were so awesome. The action scenes where they're walking slowly out of the smoke or the fire. It's over the top. It's in the same vein as kind of a triple R, even though it's a different industry. This is a Kannada film directed by Prashant Neel, who I really, really liked his direction. But the editing, the pacing, some of that I didn't really like. But I liked what he was going for because the shots he was going for were glorious and fantastic. The music by, I think, Ravi Basror was amazing as well. But this movie shouldn't have been as enjoyable as it was. Shouldn't have been as entertaining as it was. Because for me, you had kind of a wonky ending to wrap everything up. You had not a lot of, not a lot of depth into what was going on, but it was done so gloriously. And again, not a guilty pleasure. It was done technically in some areas was amazing, right? You had that music. You had the technical aspects. You had the entrance. You had Rocky, who's like a superhero basically, but you believe that this guy can take everyone out because he becomes fallible. He gets hurt. He gets almost this or that. I mean, it is spoiler, so he almost gets killed. It reminded me of like the Rise of Batman. What was that? The Rise of the Dark Knight, right? Where he gets his back broken and he has to bring himself back to strength. It had some parallels with that. But the cinematography, I really, really enjoyed. I liked, again, they continued on with like the dark colors in the sand, but we weren't just there at KGF. We were outside. Yash had like 3,000 different, costume changes or whatever. Yeah. And every single one was so amazing. The colors popped. Yash himself, I wouldn't put him in a category as one of the most amazing actors, but this guy exudes charisma. This guy demands your attention. And whenever he delivers a line, I completely buy it. I'm such a fan of this guy. And so let me know if that makes sense. I really, really enjoyed it. But it didn't have a lot of meat on the bone, if that makes sense in some areas.
Right.
But this movie made us crack up several different times. This movie had me cheering so many different times. And when I left that theater, I'm thinking, this is a great movie. But when you really think of it, you can understand why some people weren't hugely fond of it. I'm talking about some of the Indian reviewers that I'm checking online right now. Whew. Does that make any sense?
It does. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't care. Don't care. I could care less. Listen, you know what else didn't get great reviews at first? Pulp Fiction, right? It got killed. The story's convoluted. It's all over the place, whatever. That's sometimes the beauty of it, honestly. And you're right. They try to throw so much in there or whatever, but enjoy the film for what it is. And that's what I enjoy the film for what it is. I enjoy the acting for what it was. You know what? Another random thought for me, okay, dude? And as I'm watching the film, right? Sometimes I think that because they're talking about like the Prime Minister of India and they're talking about a story that could on the surface be believable. At no time did and I mean KGF, apparently the coal gold mines is like or was a real thing, something to that effect. But this isn't, what do you call it? One of those, based on reality or true story types of story. The way they tell it, because it's the reporter first, doing the investigation, and then I like that they continued that in the second one, but it was the son, the father's son doing it. I can only imagine it's because the original actor either wasn't available to come back and do it because they never even showed him. It was kind of weird.
That's a good call. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
But I like how they told it. And because it's being retold as a story, guess what? that's where some of those far-fetched things come from. Like, we've all seen something happen, and when we go ahead and retell it, we're gonna embellish a little bit, right? Oh wow, I saw this guy get knocked out and like 18 teeth flew out, and okay, it might have just been one tooth, you know what I mean? But we always
Good
gonna
point.
so that's how come when the guy, remember, we're not actually watching Rocky or Yash do these things. We're hearing the legend of Rocky, the legend of Yash. So I could say whatever I want in the story. The story is that there was this guy. He rose to take over the Cola Gold Mines, or Goldfields, right? Is that what it is? Cola Goldfields, KGF? Yeah, Cola Goldfields.
Yeah.
You know, he was a gangster, but we weren't there. We weren't really reliving the steps. This is being told through third person. And at this point, the guy that's telling the story the second time around is the son of the original guy. So it's like a fourth rendition of it. For all we know, you know, Ross was like some regular dude. He wasn't this fictitious superhero, but the story kind of evolves as it's being told. And I think you get a little bit of that in the storytelling where, okay, listen, maybe he's a gangster and did go and spray up a whole police station because of, but I'm pretty sure that after that, he didn't take a cigarette. Let me just
that was so awesome.
It was a gangster.
I remember that.
I don't see it happening. You know
and he purposely did not light it right before he starts doing it. He purposely, because he knew he was going to get to that eventually. No, I'm telling you, this film, I love the way it began with the guys digging it up and you have all those people around it. I love that scene, like all the torches, right, going around the KGF or whatever. I loved how, you know, he became like this savior for the people, and how he wasn't a perfect person. Like, he was still, at the end of the day, you find out, I am here to fulfill my mother's words,
right,
and that's all I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm not trying to be anyone else but fulfill my mother's words. And, you know, you have this character that was an anti-hero. He wasn't a perfect protagonist. Right. But let me talk about Yash for a second, because this guy, I am such a fan of this guy. And that's not me, like, I don't know. Like, I think he did such a remarkable job continuing on, because this was not filmed at the same time as the first one, right? He's continued that character, no problem. He delivers some lines so masterfully, and they're doing like in 5 different languages. So I can't imagine how that works with the dubbing or whatever. I'm not even sure which one we saw, to tell you the truth, which dub version of it, but it had the subtitles. But this guy, the physicality, the swag, the style, he had the acting chops to get the job done. The poses that he would have. This guy is Rocky, for crying out loud, and I loved his performance 100%. Sanjay Dutt was great. The woman that played the prime minister, she was great. But Yash
Ravina Tandon, she played Ramik Sen. She was vicious. I loved it. I loved her portrayal of the prime minister.
Encapsulated the character very well, and she made it very, very believable. Yes. But with Yash, let me get to it real quick. I think because there's that scene where the water's dropping and he's beating those guys up, and he is Arnold Schwarzenegger like jacked, right? And I'm thinking, like, was that right after the 5-month delay of COVID and he just got beefed out? Because he looked even bigger in that scene. It's not really important, but he really sold it so well. And I love getting the hair toss scene, like we got the throwback from the first one, right? So many great scenes with Yash right there. What are some other actors or characters? Because there's a lot of characters. I feel bad for the casting director for this film, because there's lots and lots of characters that have some moments here and there, trying to portray 5 different lords in different regions and the government. What were some of your favorite? You mentioned, what was her name? I already forgot again.
Ravina Tandon. She plays the prime minister. And listen, you know, she gets elected or reelected, I should say. And when she gets elected, she's worrying about real world problems, you know, other things with other countries. And all of a sudden they're like, no, this is our biggest problem, because this guy's the biggest criminal, not just in India, in the world. And he's in your backyard. This is your problem. He controls it. And then she starts paying attention and she starts flexing her muscle. And a couple of times, you know, people might have thought, yo, she's gonna buckle, cousin. She's gonna bend. When Yash walks right into her office, like, yo, she's gonna bend. But she ain't bend. Like, yo, I didn't get here by being soft. All right, listen, you're a gangster. I'm a gangster too. To be prime minister, I've had to bury some bodies, cousin. You don't get that high up without, throwing some dirt on people. Anyone, the Clinton body count? Anyone? If you guys don't know what that is, go ahead and set your
Easy.
Just say it, all right? When you get up that high, you've been a gangster too. You done what you got to do. You know what I mean? You got what we call fixers, all right? People that handle problems, yo. And she was like, oh, you know what? I see. I gotta have to think like a criminal to deal with this dude. So I loved her. I really liked the acting of Sanjay Dutt. My problem was they didn't let his character breathe. Like, okay, this guy here, it was literally one scene talking about him, how he would not let this the mines fall to anyone when he was there. Well, then how did it fall to somebody else? Where did he go? Where did he disappear to? And then when he came right back, he was this like mythological guy again. Once again, is being thrown through third person at this time. So I'm sure he was this hulking beast of a man, but he didn't hold up a bridge with arm with a rope, cousin. I don't see that happening. But again, it's being told through third person. So, you let that kind of thing go. And I saw that as far as the story is being told. But they rushed his character, man. And I think that bothered me a little bit.
Well, and we got 30 seconds in the, was it the narrator talking 30 seconds about how the ultimate politician was really the guy who was pulling all the strings and how he had done something with them. Like the subtitles were so quick, I couldn't keep up. Yes. I couldn't keep up with what was going on.
Wow.
But we got 30
spoiler.
seconds of that.
You didn't even say spoiler. Oh, you're
this
the worst.
This is a spoiler review.
Guys, I apologize, Powder.
Let me get to a few.
Away. You just gave away the whole caboodle, bro. You get that, bro.
Listen, I didn't really love that reveal. Let me get to a few negatives because I did have some negatives.
Oh,
I didn't love that reveal.
That was an M. Night Shyamalan review right there, baby.
No,
that was the whole time the dude that set Yash in the first place was the real henchman. He was, and Yash figured it out and let him have it, cousin. Spoiler.
Oh, he definitely let him have it. I mean, and that was a ruthless scene. He's like full of blood. That was fantastic. Again, this movie I loved 100%. But there's some things I did not like. And these are just a few quirks of my own. Maybe I'm on my own. Let me know. Comment below what you think. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well. They went back to the mother thing maybe one or two too many times. Like we have like 6 or 7 references about his motivation. And the reason why I complain about that is just because like for me, it was kind of just, I get it. Like I'm fine. I don't need to be, it's like every 10 minutes we reminded about his mother. And it's very important part of the story. I get that. But allow us as the audience to, remember that and understand that and move forward. We already love these characters for crying out loud. His fall and rise when he gets shot and when he comes back is so quick. And it seemed a little too convenient where he makes a phone call to his uncle, the guy calls him son, and he's like, I need you to do a favor for me, right? If his uncle had the kind of means to take out all of these lords, all these dons in like one afternoon that was all timed up, what is this guy doing? Like, not controlling the world. I thought that was a little too convenient. And my biggest complaint was the ending. Okay, I get it. Okay, here you go, Gabe. Big spoiler here. I get it. Okay, the wife dies and she's pregnant. That's jacked up. Right when he finds out, you kill her off. So jacked up, right? And that was an awesome sniper rifle that he had. But she dies. I get it. He wants to fulfill his mom's wishes. He got all the gold. He got the whole plate for crying out loud. I get it. He doesn't really have anything else to live for because he fulfilled his mission in his mind, I guess. And he's going in there. He's got 20,000 feet depth. And they had this in the post-credit scene where he purposely got shot down at that spot to where you could not retrieve the gold because it was too far down for anyone to get it. He committed crimes allegedly in the U.S. So now they're after him and investigating and trying to extract all this kind of stuff. Right. For me, I felt like I did not like that way out. And I see this in so many movies, that kind of an ending to a certain degree, but mixed up a little bit. I didn't like it. I didn't like that ending. Is he dead? Is he not dead? They can bring him back to life. The director himself said, hey, if people like the second one, we'll make a third one, right? So, but for this one, it seems like he went down with the ship, so to speak. He went down with the gold. And I would have loved for him to maybe mess with a few people a little bit more before he goes down, before he bows out. I get it, okay? He wants to go down on his terms. He's the king of the world. He's the king of India. He owns everyone. He rose from that poor boy rising up. I love it so much. I just want a little more for the ending. I'm not going to say it's as bad as the ending of Glass, but that's kind of how it made me feel. Like all of this for that ending. Don't even dare shake your head. It's my opinion. You can get yours in just a second. Okay. But I did not love that. But again, this is a great film. I can see myself. The music was so magical in different action scenes, different scenes of it to make it more strong. The investigatory, revelation music that was going on when they're all listening to the story and they're discovering this or that, and what Yash did. It was so awesome. And you're right, going back for that one golden nugget, and he takes out and obliterates the entire police station and just walks away. Oh man, he emptied out like 5 pill.
It is amazing. It was amazing. Here's what you don't understand, and this I understand that.
Please tell me what I don't understand.
I think that this is the first time you had to really root for the anti-hero. Okay, and let's be honest.
I've watched a million movies.
He's as close to an anti-hero as it can get. He's practically a villain. He calls himself a villain, cousin.
You know how many movies these days have anti-heroes? Stop it. Keep going though.
So here's the thing. When we're talking about it, I've been rooting for the anti-villain forever, bro. All right. One of my favorite movies, Al Pacino.
You root for the villain.
Both. Al Pacino, okay, Scarface, all right? Listen, the minute that he crossed Sosa, he knew it was done, cousin. But at that point, it doesn't matter, all right? I'm going out on my terms. Bro, he looks on the camera, he looks around, they all come into his house. We're talking about Scarface here. They're not this way. He's done. He's done, cousin. But what am I going to go do? Coward and hide? No. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to spray old Theo.
I get it. It's his terms. All the gold. No one else gets it. But come on, man.
The person who I think they modeled this character, at least took a little bit inspiration from, okay? Escobar, Pablo Escobar, same thing, bro. Crossed the United States, he killed some DEA agents. Okay, cousin, now we got the CIA and them cats coming after you, and they hunting him in his own country in Colombia. To your point, they said, oh, they've got the Americans out there, Indians, Navy was out there in some other country. He had committed crimes. There's nowhere you can hide, Nick. There's nowhere you can hide. They're gonna find you. When there's that many governments looking for you, they're gonna find. Bro, they found.
But I wanted to see I didn't care if I don't care if he ends up dying. I don't care.
Right.
But he had so much more to do.
He
literally owned most of the wealth in the world. He could do whatever he wanted to do.
That was the most gangster thing, to see a point. He went all the way out there, international waters, where now you all got to come and get me, and nobody's getting it. No, the only people that got paid from that and his hard work and labor were the people that had his back, the people that worked for him in KGF. He made that KGF 2, the little town for them or whatever, and left them money in all those accounts. But as far as he's concerned, he's like, yo, none of y'all eating off of me, bro. That was just gangster. Like, that's how you go out, bro. A captain, bro. He had a bottle. I don't know what he was drinking there. It must have been some of that, bro. It must have been some of that Mexican tequila from Puerto Vallarta that they were handing out there. Because my man was out there like chilling, like, yep. Y'all got y'all warships. It's all good, cousin, because y'all not getting this dough. It was great. It was a great and fitting ending. I rather that than the ending where the guy goes to jail for 1 billion years. Bro, listen, I'm not trying to go to a jail for 1 billion years, all right? Well, I'm under the jail. Not sorry. No, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. And no.
I got your ending right now. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I got your ending right now. He gets sentenced to jail, like you were saying, right? He puts to jail. After he lays down on the bed, a guard walks by, give him his cigarettes, right? He smokes a cigarette. He finishes. He says, "Okay, I'm good." The guard opens a door for him and escorts him out of the prison. That's the ending. Wouldn't you love to see that with the rocket star, Yash? And then the prime minister, you did what? What happened? Where's he at? And then, come on. I hear you. I'm just saying. I love this character, But I really did like the direction of the director. He had a lot to follow up on this one. And for me, I thought he did it wonderfully and beautifully. Right. I was excited. This whole journey that we got from the song reactions, the trailer reactions, all that kind of stuff to build up to it. It was a great product at the end of the day for me. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a few issues here and there. You're right. Hold on the rope with one hand. Come on. One thing I did miss though was like the big like emotional scene or like that romantic scene, like the bun scene from the first one, right? Like something like there was some powerful moments, don't get me wrong, but we were kind of missing that, right?
I think that the chemistry just wasn't there with Arena this time. And
yeah, the girl, absolutely.
Yeah, the girl. And
I completely agree with that.
I don't know what happened because it was great chemistry in the first one. It is the same actress, so I don't know what happened here. Yeah. And I don't know, man. It was just a little bit off. And even the scene, which I thought was adorable, because to be fair, same thing happened to me, Nick. Very first time, like, oh, I'm not feeling good. All right, well, I'll call a doctor. Oh, I haven't been able to eat in a few weeks, in a few days. All right, well, drink some soup. I'm good. I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, you don't understand. My stomach hurts. Drink some Pepto. Like, you know what I mean? That's like when your mind's not there, it's not clicking. And I thought that was probably the most organic scene with both of them, and the most heartfelt scene. Yeah. And then 2 minutes later, you snatch her. That was gut wrenching. I was like,
and girls, women will tell you like that's a perfect example of a man who's just trying to fix a problem and is not listening. My wife would love that scene. Absolutely. I did thought it was kind of weird how she instantly just like, okay, now I love you. That was, I mean, there's some things I have with this, but there's so much good about it. There's so much fantastic scenes. And, I don't want to spoil all of it. We're going to go ahead and give this a grade. I'm going to go ahead and start. And I'm going to grade, I don't remember what I got KGF Chapter 1. I don't care. I'm going to give KGF Chapter 2 a B+. I thought this was really, really good. I loved it a whole lot. There were some issues I had with it, but it didn't ruin it at all. And most of it is pacing. Most of it is the putting the set pieces and putting too much into one. But I'm going to give it a B+. I can't give it an A-. I want to so badly. It's so close.
You know what? I got to say, I think I'm going to give it an A-. I think that for a guy like myself that roots for the villains all the time, and you know this, anybody that's been watching for the time, my favorite Indian actor is Nawazuddin Siddiqui. And people are like, really? Bro, listen, Gangs of Wasseypur, cousin, that's the most gangs. And he had a Gangs of Wasseypur moment here too, when he gets the other dude's main general and he's poking him in the neck, just poking him, bro.
Dude, that guy was staggering because he had the axe in his throat and he just pulls it out. Oh man,
he's gangster with it. So I root for the villain. Sorry, I do.
So good.
And I think that he played that perfectly because he wasn't, to your point, too emotional. He was disconnected. He had a mission. He had a plan. He was gonna achieve it. And even when people close to him fell and emotional things happened, he still kept doing what he had to do because it was just so one-sided and focused. And I think that, it reminded me of a perfect cross between, go back, even the way he dressed, Nick, because I get it, the 70s, but with the suits, with the silk shirts and the over big, what do you call those? The collars of pelt. That's Tony Montana, baby, from Scarface. You know what I mean? Loving it. It's a cross between Tony Montana.
That's Rocky, sucker.
I'm just saying, but I'm saying the attire. And then, of course, being that powerful, and people are gonna be like, yeah, no way that he's a gold smuggler, right? Could get that powerful. Really? Go again. Happened during the 70s. Look what else happened during the 70s. Guy named Pablo Escobar, cousin, ran the country. He basically said, I am the president of Colombia. Deal with it, cousin. Bro, I love the story. It was great. A-. And give me KGF Chapter 3. All right?
Oh, give
me KGF Chapter 3. Tell me he survived. Tell me he survived somehow.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take it.
I absolutely loved it. It's so close to an A- for me. You might have convinced me, but I'm going to still keep it at a B+. Let us know what you guys think about this. Let us know what your thoughts are. Obviously, both of us give it a great review. We absolutely both enjoyed it. We had some issues with it. We're always going to be honest with you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know what your favorite scenes are. Let us know if you think for sure it's going to be a KGF Chapter 3. Let us know. Let me know all the times I was wrong, right? I love reading those comments. But with that being said, let us also know what else you want us to check out next time. But until next time,
I'm the boss of Boring Reviews. No, he said I'm the CEO. The CEO? What's the company? Boring Reviews. Dude, that line was just hard, bro. He's like,
that would have been better if you would have said the CEO of YouTube.
Oh, dude, I missed the boat on that one.